Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi live noding. We are back to the topic that we did earlier. It's the counting. We did this with Sverchok already, and we have the same thing set up using animation nodes. And the result, if I play it back, it's looking something like this. It's rather pretty simple, but yeah, it's a very interesting kind of example. So basically, we provide the animation nodes with a we tell Blender, okay, we're gonna have like some numbers in the list, and I'm gonna go through real quick first, and then we might do it from scratch. So we have these 5 objects in the scene, and each one of them kind of growing depending on the how many counts we have from these auto-generated numbers. So here we have a frame, and the frame goes into this node, and this node is an iterations that generates a number, and we have this loop. In animation nodes, you have to do loop to generate list of numbers, and you have these numbers. We specify it here, generate numbers between 0 and 5, random numbers, and then we pipe and pass this number into another node, another program. And this program is actually using the script node. And this script node is really simple. It look at all these numbers, and then okay, it's gonna find a unique value, which is this guy, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. And then from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, count how many 0, how many 1, how many 2, how many 3, how many 4 these random numbers is generating. Keep counting every frame, and with the result we just plug into another loop, and this loop will do the object. It's gonna modify the array, of course, because each object has its own array, and from that value just keep counting and extend the array if whenever the value is kind of increasing. Okay, so that's the whole program. It's pretty simple, but once again it's quite interesting and really worth kind of trying, because you might end up learning a little bit of programming. One thing you need to know that I probably haven't mentioned, the whole thing can be just a Python program or like a drivers. But because I like it to be like a node, really the whole thing can be just a single node, a single script node. Okay, node, and the node, what it's doing is a counting node. Count. What's the input's gonna be? The input's gonna be a bunch of lists. Okay, maybe you have a box full of chickens, like I said, and we want to count the chicken, and we have chicken, yellow chicken, pink chicken, purple, and red, and we want to count the number of each chicken. Once we found out the number of each chicken, we can say, okay, we have a large number of red chicken, smaller number of pink chicken, purple, and etc. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If I actually wrote down this pseudocode, they call it pseudocode. Let's enlarge this. So first we prepare the data to count. Okay, it's a box full of baby chickens. Box of full colorful baby chickens, and in this case just a list of number. And then the next step, count each item that is unique, because we don't want to double count. We want to know actually how many variation of the chicken in the box. So we find out, okay, we have purple, red, yellow, whatever. We have to find out about that first, and then the program should do the calculations and return the counted items as a list of numbers. That's it. That's pretty much the code. Let's do it from scratch. Let's see how fast I can go. This is 5:30 p.m. Sydney time, and let's do it. This is the pseudocode file, save Blender animation nodes, counting scripted 001. This is the demo. Start from scratch. First of all, we're gonna need a random number. So random number animation nodes. How do we do that? Just type in random. We're not gonna be using random vector. We need just a random number. So random number, and I'm gonna turn off auto because this is slowing down my computer a little bit. Because this random number is only producing a single number each time. See, that's random number. Let's see, we want it between 0 and 5, and this guy is also a floating value. We want to turn it into integer. So anyhow, it's okay. We're gonna create a loop. Right away, I create loop input. Like I said, with animation nodes, you will be using loop, and loop is very handy. Something that takes time to understand, but it's worth it because you use a lot of looping when you're doing programming as well. So this is another programming concept. So we know that this node is only outputting a single value each time, but with loop we can generate numbers. So here you see new generator output. Just click on that thing, and then let's say you want to output an integer list. So integer list with the random number now inside the loop. If we plug in the index into the seed, this will kind of generate a number each time. So if I plug this into that guy, now what's gonna happen is this one. I'll name it generate integer list random integer. So if I go to sub program, now we have our program. Little program here, little node. It's a scripted node and super handy. Let's see. Okay, the output is nothing. But if I increase the number of iterations, it's starting to generate numbers. And the number itself is can be randomized using the seed. So cool, we have it. We can have like 50, we can have 20, 5, 100, 1,000 number. It's just gonna generate for us. Okay, that's the first loop. So we already done the first one. Prepare the data to count. Just imagine this number is like a chicken, yellow, red, etc. You can actually use animation nodes to do the counting for like a real, like, you know, like red color chicken, yellow color chicken, and kind of doing that as a string. But we just gonna be using number for now. Second one, do the counting for each item that is unique. Now we need to figure out how to do this unique part. We need to know how many items here, because we didn't tell animation nodes yet. We know that the number is between 0 and 5, but the program itself doesn't understand that. So let's create a script node. With a script node, when you open it, it's pretty much blank. This one gonna be doing the counting. Count me, and this is gonna be the script. I'm gonna create a new script, count me, and then put it down here. Okay. So first of all, we need to tell, because this is like a nodes. This is an empty container for the nodes with a script on it. We kind of need to think what kind of input and what kind of output we're gonna create. For the input, of course, is the list of integer list. Okay, and for the output, it's gonna be, okay, first of all, we're gonna generate the unique value. So it's a unique list just to test it out. Integer list is in, so integer list, we can also output the total of the list. So just output a number, an integer, and call it total of list or total number. Okay, this is the name of variables. This is going to be the output. This is going to be the input. The input is this guy. It's coming from this guy. But we're not plugging into this this guy. This thing is just the creation of the script node. We're gonna actually use this node itself. Okay, plug in the random list of integers, random numbers. Now we just need to tell animation nodes, okay, now do some kind of processing. Let's find the total number. We can say total number is really length. In Python, length is the function to get the total number. So we just gonna pipe it in, and hopefully we get a result. Let's check it out using debug node. Total number, it says 0. Maybe I didn't do it properly. Count me. Because it says unique list is not defined. Actually, we need to make sure the node is working properly. So with a unique list, we just give it like value 1, 2, 3, and then refresh it again. Now it's doing the proper calculations, and we have 45. We actually have 45 value. Okay, whatever value I'm changing, it's gonna update it properly accordingly here. So now with the unique list, though, it's not, this is not what we want. 1, 2, 3 is not what we want. We want to have a set of number that are unique from list of our value. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that simple. Just use set. Set is something in Python, so we actually have it here as well, if I'm not wrong. Set list element, set for this, I think it's in the list. We can create, combine this boolean structure. There's a get length here, set element, get random elements. That's interesting one. That's really interesting. I never used that. But anyway, this set function is a Python code that find the unique value from a list. So we got the unique list, and it's okay. Now we can work. Next, we just do the counting. As we already know, the trick is just to use the count function, and so it's really simple. We just need to say, okay, for every item in unique list, we want to count from integer list, find that item, and we're gonna output also the counter list. And for the counter list, we're gonna append the output of integer list count. Okay, update it, and hopefully this works. Counter list, we don't have counter list yet. New output is gonna be another integer list, but we call it counter list. Now if we check the result, another debug node, hopefully it works. It actually works. Surprisingly easy. Yeah, this is it's a kind of thing that's I found it I don't know why, when you're thinking of programming using nodes, the whole thing is you kind of your brain get leveraged, kind of like you don't need to worry about the syntax, or you just need to worry about the data in and data out and all the processing that you need to do to the numbers or to the list. That's kind of will take you pretty far, kind of like intermediate. Maybe if you're like if you know programming really well, like Python, and you understand the programming concept as well, you can of course create a program that you can run and give you a result, and it will do something for you. Like with the nodes, you kind of there is like an extra knowledge that you need to understand the nodes itself, and then how the nodes work, and what you have from nodes here. How many nodes do we have here? Maybe hundreds. And maybe there are some nodes that can help you to do what you're doing, but maybe there are so many things that you need to do that the nodes doesn't provide it yet, so you need to create your own nodes. And this is really just okay, the counting is done. We are done. We are actually pretty much done. This actually will work. With the array thing that I did, I will actually do the same thing. Array modifier, you know, this thing will generate a copy. I'm just gonna copy it up. I can leave a gap like that, just I don't know, just aesthetically more pleasing. Let's give it a matcap ambient occlusion. Okay, this is the master objects. Like I said, I like to have the master, and then I have the duplicate here. This makes things a little bit clearer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna group this guy. Now we just gonna get the group objects from group. Get our group. Now we want to control the array. These array numbers that gonna be controlled using our numbers, and it will grow, shrink depending on the number being generated from here. So it's gonna be, the final result will be pretty interesting. So with these 5 objects, we want to loop through it. So this is the third loop that we need to do in animation node. So in and out loops. For the objects, we want to change this number of array. So we need to use object attribute output, plug in the objects. What is the attributes we are working on? It's this guy, bpy.data.objects cube for modifier blah blah blah. Just right click, copy data path, and paste it here. It will point into the modifier for each object. Now we can plug in the value here, and the value is really from our list. So in the loop, we're gonna provide out an input here, like a integer list, and the integer list coming from this guy, which is the counter list. Just type in counted, and plug in the counted into this guy, and things should actually work. Actually, no, yeah, the things should already work. We can increase the number of iterations, and then this thing will grow slowly and slowly growing. It depends on the how many counts of numbers this guy have. See, this generate a lot of value. Is like, let's say 200. Now 200 value, and how many we have? Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have how many of this guy? 46. Number 2. Something like that, because you see, this is the value, this is the total number being generated, this is the unique number. you know, like a yellow chicken, red chicken, and we count how many each one of them, and it's pretty almost like equal. It can be more random, of course. If you use like a noise or something, we're gonna get a different value. File, save as. So yeah, we have this pretty much done. With animation nodes, I cannot save the GIS. It doesn't have any like export to GIS like Sverchok. So I might give this example, this particular example for you, just as a blend file. So yep, that's pretty much it. Enjoy. So this is the script node. Once again, if you want the number kind of growing by itself, you can plug a frame number here. It's pretty simple. You know, if I play back, it's gonna keep growing. Of course, you're not limited to growing like these objects and playing with array. You can have like a monkey head, for example, Suzanne. Okay, this is Suzanne, and let's say create a duplicate of Suzanne, or I don't know. Okay, just create duplicates manually. 1, 2, 3, and 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Group it. Control G, and then replace this with a monkey. The monkey doesn't have array stuff, so disconnect that. We can do something with the monkey. Object transform output. Plug in the monkey, and with the scale, just tell animation nodes. Okay, control the scaling of the monkey using the counter. Plug that in. Now we start again. Playback. See, the monkey head will grow and continue to grow based on the list of number that we provided. Okay. This is definitely kind of really cool. It's kind of after a while they're gonna grow really big, so be careful with that. But you see, you can kind of design this system that help you to do the counting. In the real world scenario, maybe let's say you want to count. Let's say you have like a lyric, a song lyric, and you want to count how many word of love, how many word of life, or whatever being said in that lyric. You can count it this way, and based on that you can, you know, maybe generate some kind of design. Have a look at something called Workloud, and it's already pretty classic thing. You can, let's say you're providing like a whole text full of words, and then you want to find 10 of the most words being used in that text, and then from that text create a word cloud. And that's kind of interesting. I haven't done that using this, but it's pretty easy. There's an algorithm that you can just import using Python and use it in Blender and get an outcome. But here we are kind of doing it in a more manual kind of way. So let's delete Suzanne and back to our bar here, group 1. Okay, so we have this happening, and we don't need Suzanne, and this file is for you to study. I will put it online. You can download it. Okay, thanks again for tuning in. If you have any question, feedback, suggestion, just let me know, and I'll see you